Hi everybody. What we are going to learn today is about phrasal verb. Okay. So when it comes to phrasal verbs, in especially in the spoken language and also in business communication, most of the times phrasal verbs are used. Okay. In business communication, when it is used, it's quite tricky for anybody to understand as to what the phrasal verb means, and not understanding what is said by the other person in a business meeting is a big problem. Okay, so we need to have a proper understanding as to how certain phrasal verbs are used, especially when it comes to a business meeting. But if it is a casual conversation, when we are having a casual conversation, if you use a phrasal verb and if the other person doesn't understand, probably when you don't understand, you can probably ask, okay, what's the meaning of that particular phrasal verb? Because when you're having a casual chat, you can get to know the meaning of that phrasal verb by simply asking. But in the business communications, it's a bit tricky. So normally people don't ask for the meanings of phrasal verbs which are used in meetings or in business communications. So that's why I thought it's important for me to teach you some of the phrasal verbs, especially which are used in business communication. But this one is not, of course, used only in business communication. This can be used in casual communication. But in the subsequent lessons, I would like to include some of the business language as well. Okay, phrasal verbs which are used in companies. So look up is a phrasal verb that we are going to study today, and we are going to see as to how this particular phrasal verb can be used in sentences and the meaning that is conveyed through this phrasal verb. So when it comes to the phrasal verb look up, mainly there are four meanings. Okay, there are four meanings. Depending on the context, you need to decide as to what this particular phrasal verb means. Okay, so I'm clearly saying there are four meanings. Okay, right. So we will go to some of the examples and then see, depending on the context, what the meaning of this particular phrasal verb is. Okay, let's look at some of the examples. You can look up any new word in a dictionary. You can look up any new word in a dictionary. So here, when you say look up, you can search for any word in a dictionary. So rather than saying search for, we have used the phrasal word look up. You can look up any new word in a dictionary. So when you want to find out the meaning of a particular word in a dictionary, so you use the phrase look up. You can look up any new word in a dictionary. Look up. So always remember, when you want to find out information, details in a particular magazine, book, newspaper, dictionary, in all those cases, you can use the phrasal verb look up. You can look up any new word in a dictionary. Okay, so look up, the first meaning of the phrasal verb look up is you search for information in a book, newspaper, magazine, dictionary, right? In all those cases, you can use the phrasal verb look up. So let's look at the second usage. I will look you up next time I'm in Colombo. I will look you up. What is meant by look you up? Look you up means I will come and see you, or I will visit to your place. That's the meaning of I will look you up. I will look you up. I will look you up next time I'm in Colombo. So next time I come to Colombo, I will come to see you. I will visit to your place, right? So the meaning is I will come to your place. That is look you up. So if this particular phrasal verb is used in a sentence, most of the times in Sri Lanka, most of the people might not understand, because this phrase is not frequently used in Sri Lanka. This phrasal verb is not frequently used in Sri Lanka. But when it comes to native speakers, they most of the times use this phrasal verb. I will look you up next time I'm in Colombo. Okay, so the second meaning is we visit that particular place. That's the meaning of look you up. Let's look at another usage as well. The economic situation is in Sri Lanka is looking up. The economic situation in Sri Lanka is looking up. What's the meaning? So that means the economic situation in Sri Lanka is improving. Rather than saying improving, we are using the phrasal verb looking up. The economic situation in Sri Lanka is looking up. When something is improving, Remember, you can use the phrasal verb look up. It's looking up. Okay, our business is looking up, so that means it's improving. The economic situation in Sri Lanka is looking up, it's improving. The economic situation is improving. It has been in a debt trap for some time period now, but now it is looking up. It is looking up, so that means it's improving. So we have discussed 3 usages of the phrasal verb look up. Let's look at one more usage. I have always looked up to my father. Looked up to my father. What's the meaning of this particular sentence? I have always looked up to my father. So when you say I have always looked up to my father, the meaning is I always wanted to be somebody like my father, because he has been inspirational, he has been a motivator, he has been a guru. He has lived his life in such a way that I want to be somebody like him. I want to emulate his character. I want to lead the life in the way that he has lived the life. So when you want to give such a meaning, you can use the phrase look up to. I have always looked up to my father. So when you want to get advice, you go to your father. When you want to solve an issue, let's assume you want some advice for that. For that also you go to your father, because he has been such an inspirational character. In that case, you use the phrase look up to because you want to be somebody like him. Or sometimes, you might have seen somebody online who is so inspirational, or you might have been so inspired by the actions of another person. So you think, okay, I want to be somebody like him or her. In that case also you can use the phrasal verb look up to. So I have always looked up to my father. Okay, so that's the 4th usage of the phrasal verb look up to. So we have discussed 4 usages. One is look up means you search for information in a document, in a book, in a magazine, or in a newspaper, in a dictionary. In those cases you can use the phrasal verb look up. The second one is look you up, in the sense I will come and visit. I will visit that particular place. That is look you up or look up. And the third usage is look up means it's improving. The economic situation in Sri Lanka is looking up, so that means it's improving. And the last one is I have always looked up to my father. That means you always wanted to be somebody like your father. Okay, there is an inspirational character and you want to be somebody like that inspirational character. So in that case also you can use the phrasal verb look up. Look up. So I have discussed 4 primary usages of the phrasal verb look up. And this is a series about phrasal verbs, and I have already discussed a couple of phrasal verbs with you all, and I hope that this phrasal verb will also be useful to you all. Until I meet you all with another lesson, bye for you all.